Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sam Manouchehri from Century Park Law Group. And as Micah was saying, it's one thing to understand the rules. More importantly is, how do you prevent your client from destroying their own case? All right. As Century Park Law Group, we take a lot of time explaining to the client the entire process. Because unfortunately, your biggest enemy may possibly not be the defense lawyers or the insurance, but actually your own client, due to a simple fact that they don't understand the process. All right, so as any good attorney will tell you, when you go to trial, you're telling a story. You're telling a story about how your client was injured because of the defendant's negligence, and as a result of that negligence, they've been injured, they have medical bills, they have pain and suffering, they have lost earnings, they have a change in life. So the most effective way is to prevent the fire in the first place. Micah did a great job explaining the rules that are still very much in limbo simply because of the fact that social media is a very new technology. Back in the day when I did defense many years ago, we didn't have the option of the plaintiff destroying their own case. If as a defense lawyer we felt there was some sort of fraud going on, or they were exaggerating or malingering, we hired a private investigator to do sub rosa investigation on the person. And it's a very costly thing to do as a defense attorney, but it was very effective. But these days, the plaintiff will do it themselves. There's someone in our office who had a great case. He went to Amsterdam, had a lumbar complaint in his case, and you see him climbing onto the "I love Amsterdam" sign, and he posted it. What did defense counsel do? They sent a letter to the plaintiff's counsel saying, how hurt is your client if he's climbing a sign? So when you do the intake, you need to take the time to explain to your client the process. All right? So first off, you need to explain to the client who the players are. All right? First off, you have the storyteller, the lawyer. The job of the lawyer is to explain to the insurance company the client's story. So here you got me talking to the devil, that's what I call insurance companies. We're talking to Flo, and we're talking to the Geico Gecko. All right? And as an example, you got my wife and I back in 1962. In front of a Pan Am airplane. And the purpose of the picture is to illustrate context. The insurance company's job is not to pay you full value. The insurance job is to be a business, all right? So I don't care what insurance companies say, they are not in the business of helping people. I don't care if it's car insurance, health insurance, life insurance, work comp insurance. Their job is to fight with you, to pay you as little as possible, because that's their duty. So if your client posts a picture climbing up Amsterdam sign, they are damaging their case. So your job is to explain to them that I'm telling a story on your behalf. Do not be an enemy to your case by posting things that can be taken out of context. All right? So the simple fact is, explain the process. As Will did a great job of explaining earlier, what I do all day is take the time to explain to potential clients, attorney referral firms, doctors, anybody and everybody, that I don't care what the commercials say, insurance companies are not in the business of helping people. All right? So Nationwide is not on your side. You're not in good hands with Allstate. All right? So who do we have? The antagonist, the insurance company. All right? They do a great job of selling insurance. I used to represent Geico many years ago, and when I was in college, I was pre-med actually. I come from a family of doctors. And I realized my junior year in college that insurance companies, primarily health insurance companies, were destroying the medical profession. The one and only reason medical providers work with PI lawyers, normally on a lien basis, is because health insurance companies do not pay them enough. It used to be that a doctor saw 20 patients in a day, got to know their patient, held their hand, properly diagnose, give a prognosis. But due to health insurance companies paying so little, doctors got to see 100 people in a day. And you spend more time in the waiting room and in the exam room waiting for the doctor than you do talking to them. So the 1% that owns the banks is the same 1% that owns insurance companies. And a very illustrative example I give to all my clients through that intake is to ask them a very simple question. Do you know who owns Geico? Anybody? Anybody other than my office? Know who owns Geico? Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway. So, Berkshire Hathaway is the majority shareholder of Wells Fargo Bank. Do you think Warren Buffett is in the insurance business because he wants to help people or because he wants to make money? All right, so when I was at Geico doing defense for them, it was during the caveman commercials. And as you guys may know, I'm heavily into marketing at the firm. I have a little bit of a background in it, and no commercial made me happier than this one. Unfortunately, there's no sound, so I'm not sure what to say about it, but it's playing a beautiful song. And is there a way to get this sound up or no? Don't worry about it, guys. So this is a very sneaky commercial in that the point of the commercial is not simply to sell you insurance, but it's to make you falsely believe that they're on your side. Every single commercial you see for an insurance company is pretending they're there to help you. They are not there to help you. And the simple fact to make you understand why insurance companies are not even in the business of helping their own insured is that, does anybody know what the first thing your own insurance company does when you contact them and tell them, I made a mistake, I rear-ended the car in front of me, it's my fault? What is the first type of determination an insurance company makes upon opening the claim? Anybody other than my office that should all know this? Any lawyers out there know what the first type of determination an insurance company makes? Nope. Coverage. Their initial goal is to tell their insured, oh, you're not covered, good luck, you're on your own. Be it not paying the premium that month. If the person lives in the same household as the named insured, they're automatically excluded unless they're also named. You need to realize this. Your own insurance company is not on your side either. So the first thing we do at CPLG is fully educate the client on the process and tell them you're not talking to anybody anymore other than the doctors in our office. That's it. You're not talking to your own insurance, you're not talking to the other side's insurance, obviously. So next we have the client. The client has come to you because they don't know anything. They are not giving you a third of their money because they know the process. They're giving you the third of their money because they don't know the first thing other than they've been hurt, generally don't have the best insurance, they need their car fixed, they need a rental car, they need to see doctors, they don't even know how to open a claim. So they've come to you because they need your help. And what is the best way to prevent the fires that Lisa and Lourdes are going to discuss putting out? Educating your client on the entire process. All right, we have an intake department in my office that I obviously run, and what I tell all of our intake people is, even if it's going to be a non-engage, meaning, sorry, I can't help you, you need to educate them. All right? You need to educate them because in the end, they are not a person to the insurance company. They are a claim number initially, and ultimately they are a dollar amount. And this is their one case, and if you got a TBI where their life is going to be completely changed, and as well as their entire families, because they're not going to be the same person if they have a moderate to severe TBI. They're going to be a different person for the rest of their lives probably, and their loved ones are going to have to deal with this entirely new person who's potentially suicidal, PTSD, depressed, all these symptoms that it's not their fault. And your job as a lawyer is not to look at them as a number either. You shouldn't be jumping up and down when you find out they need surgery. You should realize, holy shit, this client's really hurt. This is their one case. This is their one opportunity to be made whole. And as a lawyer, you have two goals. These are the same two goals you have for all of your clients on every single case. Goal number one, talked about it in other things, it's not really applicable here, but your goal is to make sure you understand the medicine and you understand what is wrong with your client, because ultimately that determines the value of the case. And it is your job to make sure they get full value. Because this client's gonna come and go from your firm, but that is their one opportunity to pay for everything that they've gone through. If it's a catastrophic, we're talking about for the rest of their lives. If it's a mild case, 30, 50 grand, it's still that one case for this client. So don't look at it as the way the insurance company does, as a number. You can't. You have to remind yourself that this is a person that is truly hurt at no fault of their own. The insurance company is not God. The person that caused the accident is not God. And what I mean by that is they can't go back in time and stop the accident from happening. Similarly, they can't just tap your client on their forehead and make them all better. All they can do, better said, all they're required to do under the law is give money. And the amount of money your client is entitled to is dependent on their injuries, dependent on their bills, dependent on their lost earnings. Most importantly, dependent on their pain and suffering, which is the hardest thing to calculate, especially with a TBI, because as we all should understand now, it's not the same kind of injury as a broken arm. When you break your brain, it is the software that runs the hardware of your body. And if you break a hardware on a computer, it's far easier to fix than the software. So always understand that. Goal number one is to monitor their care and make sure that you're understanding it so that they get the full service treatment that they are entitled to, regardless of health insurance. Now leads you to goal number two, obtaining full compensation for your client. The biggest enemy to your client is not always the insurance or their lawyers. It could possibly be your own client. So the best thing to do to avoid the fire is simply take the time to educate them. And it takes a long time, guys. I'm not telling you this easy. My wife asks me all the time, what did you do all day? I spoke to clients and I told them how not to destroy their case because it is so easy to, all right? I'm 41 years old. It was my birthday a few days ago. And thank you. I'm on the cusp. I'm on the cusp of being too old that I don't have social media yet. I do. You guys all know that I'm very active. But certain clients are addicted to posting. All right? You will not be able to convince them by simply telling them, don't do that. All right? I'm sure there's plenty of parents here. If you know anything about trying to tell a child, don't do something, you need to explain why.